Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. In today's episode, I think we're a little past halfway through Diamond 2. We're a good bit into Diamond 2 anyway. And yeah, we're playing on Cursed Hollow. We are team captain once again in Hero League here. And yeah, this is going to be a really good game, going to be really interesting. I won't spoil exactly the outcome, but it's going to be very close either way. You're going to really enjoy this. So yeah, stay tuned for this game. Before we dive into commentating on the draft and the gameplay and everything like that, I do want to very quickly talk about another controversy that came up in the last video. It's actually lucky that I didn't, I'm recording this the day I post the video, the commentary that is. It was actually lucky I didn't have time to do it before, because yeah, a whole bunch of stuff came up on the last video, which was over the issue of me reporting someone like 2 or 3 minutes into the game for saying GG. So I won't dive into that too much here. I might do like a proper video on it at some stage, like the sort of the ethics of it, because like seriously, I like talking about ethics even more and even more in depth than I do talking about Heroes of the Storm, and no one wants to deal with that if they're here to watch Heroes of the Storm instead. So yeah, what I will say is that I think the issue is more so over reporting as opposed to over muting, though a few people were asking about muting, so let's talk about that just in general first, because that's actually an important gameplay tip here. But yeah, I mean, I think just generally speaking, you know, if someone is being negative or they're putting you off your game, yeah, I mean, how often, I would say, how often does that person then turn around and start, you know, giving good advice or actually improving your gameplay or your game experience then later in the game? Very rarely. So yeah, I mean, if people are just being annoying, you can mute them, or if like even if you just don't want to talk to people in the game, just mute them, because like you're not really gonna miss out on anything. Anyway, as you can see by the way in the chat in this game, people are being lovely and friendly. So I mean, that's the thing I find that the chat box is used for. It's used mostly for just chatting and being friendly, at least in my experience at this particular level. It's mostly for just chatting. There's very rarely any substantial advice given. That's my opinion. Not my opinion, my experience. Anyway, oh yeah, and also there was one dude, I only want to talk about this because there was one dude who left a few very nasty comments. I don't really care that he was leaving them to me, but he was leaving them to a few people, like subscribers that I would know over the course of a few videos, and he left nasty comments to them as well. But yeah, as you can see, found it kind of ironic. A lot of the thing was, you're soft and you're weak, like you muting people, that's sad. I did try to reply to him, and he's apparently blocked me, and I can't. So yeah, if any subscribers were feeling a bit shitty about this dude shouting at them, don't worry, there's some irony right there, just enjoy it. Anyway, here we go. You see there's some banter going down in this chat. These guys, really nice to play with them actually. It was a lot of fun. I just having a bit of yeah, just fun in this chat box. I think it's actually a nice contrast, as you will see, I suppose, by the timer at the end. I played this game literally right after that last one, so I think it's the contrast of what chat is supposed to be for and what chat, yeah, just it's what chat is supposed to be used for, two different ways. Anyway, we did first pick the Abathur and the Li-Ming. I think Abathur is actually really good on this map. I'm always a bit skeptical about Abathur picks in Hero League because he is a difficult hero to play. So it depends on whether the person is good at them or not. You'll see how that pans out in this game. I picked up Li-Ming. He's always a solid pick on Cursed Hollow. They led with Vala, Sonya, and Brightwing, which is pretty legit, the global presence of Brightwing. We picked up the Kerrigan and the Murden, and we're going to end up with Oriole, which is pretty nice as well. But yeah, you can see Glorfindel here is saying, damn, we got countered. So yeah, this is a big issue, right? That our damage dealers, we got Li-Ming, Kerrigan, and then we're going to have a Kerrigan clone, most likely. We're basically all burst, and they've picked up Medivh, who super counters that burst damage. So yeah, basically he's saying it will be challenging, and yes, it very much will be. That's a really good counter pick. To either hero, but it's a great counter pick to both heroes put together, and then Abathur is just a doubling up of the two damage dealing heroes we have effectively, so it's an even more of a counter pick. Anyway, I was saying, as you saw, that well, Medivh is hard to play, so maybe we'll be fine. And yeah, that's kind of the thing we have to do. And yeah, saying we'll lose the early game with Abathur, that's pretty expected as well. With Abathur, you generally just want to stall out the first couple of curses here on Cursed, or not the first curses, the first couple of tributes here on Cursed Hollow. Yeah, once you hit level 10, then it's when you kind of have your power spike as a team comp, and you kind of come into your own. But yeah, I mean, certainly got to the loading screen and went, ah, crap. Well, Medivh was a Grandmaster. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be good at Medivh, though. He could still be rubbish. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. But yeah, it's going to be difficult for us, for sure, to deal with those Medivh shields, I think, going into this. And then, I mean, they're going to have Arthas and Sonya doing a lot of damage up in the front to the Muradin and the Kerrigan. Like, Kerrigan is going to have, I would say, in particular in this game, a really difficult time because they got a lot of damage that can go onto her. They're going to be able to target her out really, really easily. And then you've got the Medivh shields just completely messing with her combo. So, yeah, it's not going to be as tough for me because I'm ranged, but tough for her, for sure. And yeah, as you can see, I think 2 really interesting drafts. I think that we have a really good draft, but I think that the Medivh counters it really well. And I think then, aside from the Medivh pick, the enemy team have just a pretty solid draft overall. They lack a little bit, I would say, of initiation with the Arthas Sonya. Like, certainly they got very powerful counter initiation and good team fight, but their ability to pick a team fight and their ability to poke is a bit lower than us. But yeah, anyway, here we go. Abathur is saying, I think it was kind of funny, actually. This is one of the few games where people are actually giving each other advice. Now, admittedly, it's kind of advice that you'd kind of know, but yeah, for sure, what he's saying is important, which is that, yeah, look, with Abathur, you're not going to be looking to win the first things. You're literally just looking to stall stuff out, and then once you hit level 10, you're good. Then you fight, because you get the clones. But until then, it's like you're down half a hero, right? Anyway, we're here in mid lane, and this is actually very important for mid as well. We can look to poke, we can look to basically scout the enemy team out, but once again, like, we're not looking to actually engage here and actually fight. That would be a big mistake because, once again, we're down a hero. Unless, for example, we saw an enemy hero in one of the other lanes, then we would be up a hero, because the Abathur hat can appear anywhere. We clear out this pretty fast. Nice combo comes down from the Kerrigan, but the Brightwing does get protected from some of that. I actually, unfortunately, missed my orb. If I'd aimed that a little bit better, we could have picked up the first kill right there. Would have been a pretty nice advantage, so that was a bit of a mistake for me. As we're trying to decide who will go top right here. I think I'm going to go top because no one else is going to. It's one of the tough things, is that we don't have great solo laners. I was thinking that Kerrigan is pretty good in the solo lane. Well, I suppose it depends what talents she picks. But Kerrigan is typically pretty decent in the solo lane. Oriel is saying Muradin. I probably wouldn't put Muradin in the lane at all. Myself, I think that he doesn't have enough wave clear and he's better off roaming. But I can deal with it. I'm up against the Sonya, so I will lose very badly, probably, or I should lose. You can see here I'm in a really tough spot because she's on top of me. She's able to spin through the wave. Brightwing's actually coming in, which, yeah, the big issue is that, you know, trying to dodge the spear. I actually, in hindsight, I probably should just run away and dodge the spear anyway, or at least try to. But yeah, I mean, we escaped in the end, and the way it worked out, that it was easy for me to dodge the spear, and that's good. So I didn't die, but it was still, I just, like, how do you play that a little bit better? Probably should have run away sooner. But Sonya played it well as well, to be fair. But yeah, very important that I actually don't get hit by the spear. It does a lot of damage, it stuns me, and it sets me up for a lot of follow-up from her. Especially when she hits level 4 and gets the focused basic attack. That's going to be really dangerous. Anyway, here we go. Our teammates actually pick up a couple of kills. We lose the Kerrigan, but they pick up a couple of kills there. Once again, we managed to get out of the spear before she does anything. I picked up, in terms of talents in this game, I picked up Power Hungry, level 1. I'm personally a huge fan of Force Armor. But Force Armor is for protecting you from hard-hitting abilities that you're not going to be able to, realistically speaking, actually dodge. They don't have a lot of that. They've got the Vala multi-shots and stuff, but I don't think it's enough to justify that. So the Power Hungry will give me more mana and will give me more damage as well. Really nice combo by the Kerrigan. The Abathur hat actually appears as well, so he's on top of things. And then easy. I'm not going to miss my orb if she's stunned. Pretty easy to hit, and we blow up the Sonya, which is really nice. That gives us a large advantage coming into this. There's the Vala anyway. We'll get some nice damage down on the Brightwing. Myself and Oriel doing quite a lot of damage to her. My teammates are pushing the Medivh off, so I'm going to use this opportunity to start channeling the tribute. Medivh, obviously, able to get in there and interrupt me, but he takes a lot of damage for his crimes. Nice stun coming out from the Muradin, letting us do that. Brightwing comes through. Almost get the tribute there, but not quite. And then I missed my stuff. Doesn't matter too much, actually, because she would have been protected from the Medivh shield anyway. Kerrigan pulls the Brightwing back, though. Brightwing is going to go down right here. There we go. Brightwing goes down. Medivh's in a pretty tough spot as well. Finish him off with a basic attack. And then, if only I'd thrown out, once again, the orb kill being missed by me. If only I'd thrown out the orb instead of the magic missiles first, the explosion would have killed the Sonya, and we had another kill to our name. But still, like we were saying in the draft screen. Oh, actually, yeah, the draft screen, don't I would say, just final thing in the muting thing, right, is that people generally you don't need to actually talk to people in game, especially from people who are playing in Europe, right? That sometimes you play with Russians and stuff. Are you suddenly unable to play with them? No, pings are more than enough. But certainly in the draft screen, you can actually, the conversation tends to be more relevant to the strategy. So yeah, but yeah, like we were saying in the draft screen, we are expecting to lose the tribute. So we won the first one. So yeah, just throwing out some positivity about that, because that's awesome. We're back to laning against the Sonya. Again, now that we've level 7 as well, we've got a lot of wave clear with Calamity, which I picked up, so it should be pretty safe. Actually, eat that spear to the face, which isn't ideal. I am obviously, though, looking to Hearthstone at this point, because I've got no mana left either, so I kind of need to go back to get that for the tribute. It's not ideal timing. I'm actually going to be a little bit late, but hopefully with the Abathur mines and stuff, we can stall it out until I actually get there, so I won't be punished too much for that. We'll see exactly what happens. But yeah, I picked up then Dominance actually in this game at level 4. I normally prefer Triumvirate, but I figured that we're going to have some of these longer fights in this. It's going to be difficult for us to judge things and judge how to engage and stuff, because the Medivh shield could mess us up. So that, yeah, basically with the Medivh shield kind of screwing us up in this game. I also missed a kill there on Medivh, I feel. If I turned the missiles a little bit sooner, hit him with that final one, would have been okay. Oh well. But, yeah, it's like some of the fights that we take could go much differently than we expect, because the protective barrier thing could come down, the force of will. So the Dominance, again, also does a similar thing, that they could think they get a kill on me, then I get a reset and get some health back. And that will just sort of counter that out and make it just a bit more forgiving to pick some of these fights. Anyway, you can see here that our teammates, you could see that they were actually being scared. That was actually a good example of when talking is actually important in the game. Was that I could see they were scared of the Medivh actually interrupting them. However, we knew from actually almost killing Medivh ourselves that Medivh had almost no life. So it's actually very, very safe to engage on that and to actually look for the kill on him. Basically, if he tried to interrupt the tribute, he'd make himself very vulnerable to being killed. So I said that. I think our teammates kind of worked it out anyway. But yeah, the Medivh tried and got punished for it. So that's pretty good. We've actually won the first 2 tributes. We're going to be the first team to level 10. Not at all what you expect when you have Abathur. So we're very, very happy about that, though Sonya almost kills Abathur. I'm going to roam up and just help him out a little bit. Once again, having a lot of fun up in this top lane all game long here. Can't get out of it, at least not yet. Sonya misses her thing. We're going to do some damage to her. Unfortunately, we missed the regen globe, which actually sucks a lot considering we got that level 1 talent. That bonus ability power plus the mana would have been really nice. But anyway, we've hit level 10. We're going to make our way down here. And Abathur will hopefully get a bit of split push on. But yeah, we are at the same time. This is where we're really looking for a fight. We do get this regen globe though, so that's nice. We'll have some bonus ability power going into this fight. Need to be kind of careful here. With the Abathur clone coming out, I know it can go fairly aggressive. The Brightwing actually being caught way out of position. Don't need to burn my heroic on her. Save that mana. He almost killed the Arthas, but he does escape. I'm being collapsed upon by these guys though, which kind of sucks. I try to blink over the wall, but it's not quite long enough. Oriel, I think it's a big misclick. I think she actually says it was a misclick. Put the Crystal Aegis on herself instead of me. Just the prioritization of heroes and how it can sort of change what you're clicking on to help you click on heroes. Didn't work in our favor in that sense. I think she had a heal ready as well. But yeah, I think that fight, it would have, if the ability hit properly, would have worked out a little bit differently, but well played by the enemy team as well, like focusing me down and diving on top of me. And now the Kerrigan, I think, did make a mistake here, that he kind of dived a little bit too far and then was looking to pick up the tribute when he wasn't actually in a position to pick that up. The enemy team came back and they mopped up a couple of kills. But it was very, very close, that particular fight. That could have gone either way. I think it was just like a couple of things that just didn't quite work out in our favor. It's only 1 tribute though, so we're not going to freak out too much yet. And yeah, we'll see how things go. They're being pushed in here in the mid now. And they got bruisers coming in as well. Hopefully they'll be able to mop those bruisers up before the tribute actually comes in. And Sonya actually getting killed definitely takes a lot of the pressure off. The Medivh is Hearthstoning in the middle of the lane. And we find him. So, I mean, we're not going to be able to kill him. Brightwing's there as well. Obviously he's Medivh. But we'll certainly delay him going back, which is pretty handy. Buys us a few extra seconds for sure. And yeah, I'm just going to basically try to clear this out about as quickly as I can. I don't think I use Disintegrate on the wave. Generally speaking, I don't. I used to, but then when they increase the cooldown Disintegrate, I think it's probably not worthwhile anymore, especially with this tribute here. But anyway, the Medivh is here, and he's channeling this, but we're able to blink forwards and then catch him with the edge of the Disintegrate before he actually finishes the channel. Now the Abathur mines are coming in, so Medivh, there's nothing much he can do. Worth noting though, we're paying attention to the mini-map. Actually, I should have teleported away from that. But yeah, our teammates are on the way, but they're not here yet, so we need to be very, very careful about actually engaging this fight. I think Sonya clicked the portal there instead of clicking the tribute again, just a click prioritization. But that time working in our favor, so that's good. Murden has arrived and is doing some damage, but our other two teammates are coming from the bottom. Not sure if we have the Abathur clone up and ready. I don't see it in the fight yet. It might be on cooldown. Anyway, this is a pretty decent Disintegrate, doing quite a lot of damage in there. Nice Crystal Aegis this time, keeping him alive. Medivh is somewhat out of position. We're trying to focus some damage on him, but they're backing out. The enemy team is also still looking for this tribute, when, again, I feel like they don't actually have the position to take it. So, a bit of a misplay from them. But here we go. The enemy team should be grabbing it now at this stage, and they do. They had enough to pressure us off. The clone is only ready now, so we didn't actually have enough to pop it during the fight and win that fight. You can see now we're fighting. I've got almost no mana left. This is very, very tough. I do get a Disintegrate out, and it's doing some damage, but it's not the best it could have been. But the Arcane Orb does arrive in, does a nice burst right there. Kerrigan being focused down by the Sonya, and she will indeed die. I'm trying to decide in this fight how to best use my abilities, because I got so little mana. I was saving it for the Disintegrate. Do get a nice Disintegrate opportunity, and we managed to pick up the Sonya with the Disintegrate as well. But yeah, if I'd had more mana, we could have forced that fight a little bit more and got more out of it, but didn't have enough to make use of the reset. I mean, we didn't even have enough to use another ability apart from my heroic at the end. We could have thrown out magic missiles, I guess, but yeah. This is one of the things that happens with Li-Ming, and that you do have to be very careful with when you are playing Li-Ming, is that you have to pay a lot of attention and bear in mind how much mana you have and then what you want to use it for. In that fight, I determined that the best thing would be to save it for the Disintegrate, that would get the most damage and have the most kill pressure. So that's what I went for. I was kind of expecting the Abathur to help out a bit here. He didn't, so I'm going to go into this a little bit low on health. Oriel will be able to heal me up, but I mean, looking at our team here, you can see we're nowhere near actually coming and taking the tribute, even though we have sort of level lead. But just their positioning on the map, there's no way that I can go in and stop that. That would be way too risky. Way too much fog of war down there. With Medivh, they can dive on you pretty hard and take you out. So realistically, there's no way to stop them taking that tribute. And then luckily, because we're kind of intentionally giving it over, we should be able to protect against this curse pretty well. And we're also using this opportunity to take this boss for ourselves. So it's a pretty nice trade, actually. I really like this move. And I really like how this team is and how they're communicating. It's pretty fantastic. Anyway, here's the Medivh. Hello, friend. Once again, I missed my stuff, but he had it shielded, so it doesn't really matter. And we're going to push in here through the middle and see what we can do. You can see the Vala is down bottom, and she's kind of making her way back up top as well. See, those shields are getting so much value. Actually, blink in would have been a really nice fight, but the Leyline Seal does come out and protects them from a lot of that return damage right there. So that's fine. As you'll see, and as you'll notice during this game, my mechanics aren't quite on point. It's what I mentioned in the previous video as well. I felt like, well, on the whole, I was playing very well. My mechanical sort of like reflexes and twitch things and stuff wasn't quite right. So you will have noticed I'm making a few little errors here, just in that sort of like split-second timing type stuff. But anyway, she's saying, are we going to... Look, right there, you see that? Missed a lot of that laser. Again, in the end, it didn't matter, but there's no way I should be missing that much of the laser. Just being a little bit too slow on that. The Sonya, unfortunately, does pick up double kill right there. The Medivh shield coming perfect timing. We're not actually able to finish her off. And then, yeah, just really well played by the enemy team. Medivh going in under the fort. You know, the way at the start of the game, I was saying, well, Medivh is hard to play. Maybe we'll be fine. It was at this point. It was at this exact point in the game where I went, I realized I fucked up. I was like, yeah, no, this Medivh, he knows what he's doing. This is not like some dude who's just picking up Medivh and doesn't actually know how to play him that well. This guy actually has sunk some games into Medivh. Or at the very least, he overextends. Sorry, reading the chat here. He overcommits way too much. Or no, oh my god. Now I'm just getting confused. No, he knows exactly what he's doing. He understands the theory of how to play Medivh. Anyway, at this point, the enemy team is probably going to take their boss. They have huge map positioning. In fact, yep, that's exactly what they do. But yeah, looking at that right there, it's looking pretty reasonable, or pretty likely that that's what they were going to do. They've got huge map position. I'm just saying be careful, because again, there's not much else for them to do on the map right here. They might rotate all the way up to top. More than likely, though, they're looking to push in with the boss or to take out mid lane during all of this. Anyway, Medivh comes in out of position. A lot of our burst gets wasted on his Force of Will. Once again, however, luckily for us, our teammates do use their CC well, and we're actually able to pick him up, even with the damage we have remaining right at the end. One of the problems in this game as well for me is that the Arcane Orb does hit the Army of the Dead minions quite a lot. So that's something to watch out for. The enemy team actually picking up the siege camp behind us as we kill their teammates to the front, which is funny. I think Brightwing had Bribe and she picked it up with Bribe. I'm pretty sure that's what happened there. Anyway, the boss is here. We're going to have to clean this up. We do have Mule, which will keep alive. The boss won't have enough damage to kill it, but the Mule will get a lot of value actually keeping that fort alive a little bit. Anyway, do take some damage here, but it's fine. Actually, it's a pity that Ori will heal me. So as it doesn't super matter, but I was intending to recall anyway. Once again, completely out of mana. But we have the curse, and yeah, that's really fantastic. Nice little turnaround there. The enemy team kind of took a bit of the advantage with getting the boss with getting the curse and then getting the boss, and a nice team fight for themselves. But with that team fight, we've turned it around a little bit. Anyway, at this point, I'm saying like we need to get a keep or something. We need to make something happen here, right? The top lane is in a pretty good spot for us, but realistically, the enemy team has got a very large win condition open for them with taking that bottom boss, which is easy for them to take because it's on their side of the map. We have a damage keep down there. Very, very easy for them to actually push through with that and win the game. So we really need to create some sort of advantage on our own right here as well. Leave them under some sort of map threat, because otherwise this could go very, very badly. Anyway, you can see this is a crazy fight. Everything is going all over the place. There's so many shields coming out, so much protection. We're trying to get in there and get them down and do some damage. I'm getting a lot of damage now with the Li-Ming stuff, but my stuff is just unfortunately on cooldown. We're not able to actually pick up a kill. We do grab the level 20, but Kerrigan goes down and Medivh jumps on top of her, picks her off. I do start the laser. I'd missed it. Brightwing, though, I can kindly polymorphs it once again, making me feel not too bad for aiming it kind of incorrectly. We do finish off the Arthas, though, and yeah, make this a 1-for-1. The Sonya is in our backline, though. Nice knockback by the Oriole, but she just hopped back into the portals. Medivh is vulnerable now. He's wasted his Force of Will. Oh, but he escapes with just barely a hit point alive. The Brightwing heal, helping him not get picked off by just an errant basic attack or anything that might be going his way. One of those Abathur spikes, maybe. And there you go. Pretty intense fight there towards the end. Both teams, in the end, only lose one hero. But yeah, I was just like, that team fight was so cool, right? That was awesome. There's so much going on. And I really felt like in this game, it was like two team comps with a really cool identity. With a really particular way they want to fight. And it's just good players as well on both teams, and it's leading to these really long team fights where we can fight all the way from their keep walls all the way to under our fort, and it's a really long fight, and in the end, you know, both teams walk away super badly bruised, but both coming out kind of going even in that fight, but being super close. Could go either way at any stage, and you know, that's exactly the kind of game you're looking for in Hero League. Oriole is actually not in the bush, so she's in a bit of danger right here. We get a nice orb, though, comes in and does some damage, and our Brightwing will, of course, heal that up. Arcane, you can see that, you know, if we catch someone out with all those arcane missiles, it's difficult to land them all, but if you do, it can do a lot of damage. Yeah, at level 13, by the way, I picked up Illusionist, so more range on my my teleport, which is going to be very important, obviously, for these fights getting away from the Sonya and such. And then at level 16, I picked up the Mirror Ball, which is 2 extra magic missiles, but for more mana, but it's just a lot more damage, which is going to be pretty great. And one thing we have to watch out for, obviously, as well, is that the Medivh has Resurgence at level 16, so if we do use Burst on someone, and they get shielded, it's going to heal them for a lot. So we need to be really careful. Anyway, we're here. The enemy team is just diving us. You can see they're rolling over us under the fort. And they actually pick off the 3 heroes. Myself, I'm going to survive, and Abathur will obviously still be there, but this is pretty rough. Luckily, there's no curse, but they will take our boss and then probably go down and take their boss. If you look at the minimap as well, you can see that the Abathur has pushed him in hugely on 2 fronts, actually. 2 waves pushing in very hard. I screw up my teleport, so I go, ugh. Pretty bad. And I screw it up once again, so I was kind of face palming really hard at this stage. I was like, well, that's embarrassing to put in a video. Which I believe, I don't know, I didn't notice if I brought up the talent screen right there, but I did bring it up at some stage. But I was like, yeah, you know what, I felt like we should be winning the team fights a little bit more with the late game Abathur at this stage. But one of the reasons is that he's actually gone, as you can see right here, in fact, for a split push build, right? He hasn't built into a team fighting build, which means that our team fighting, well, with the clone, it's very powerful, but once the clone goes down, it actually becomes very weak because our symbiote isn't that strong. We don't have a hive mind symbiote or anything like that. So yeah, realistically, what that's going to mean, because he's gone for split push, is that these longer team fights, we're actually going to be pretty weak, actually. But to make up for that, we will have good split push. So you could see that come through in that fight. I think last fight was a really good example of that. Ultimately, we had a long team fight. We ultimately lost it. However, we lost it because of the Abathur's build, but we did then get a ton of value across the map because of that build at the same time. So that's something we have to bear in mind. And always, it's important as well to keep an eye on the talent builds that your teammates are going for, because now that I know what talent build the Abathur has, I've got a much better idea myself of what to expect coming into this, what to look for. Anyway, I'm here. You can see once again, I have to be very, very careful. One of the things I realized in the last fight was I've got to be careful about how I aim my burst, because they have resurgence from Medivh. They have the shields. It's going to be very important that I actually land it and actually get value out of it. And I was also realizing that I need to focus a bit more on targets and on actually getting kills. I've been missing too many of these. Anyway, the Kerrigan clone plus Kerrigan, I believe, pick up the kill on the Brightwing, and that's really good for us. Now we're here. You can see Kerrigan clone almost going down. Oh no, that's the real Kerrigan. Sorry. Real Kerrigan almost going down. We almost killed the Vala, but Medivh is on top of me. You have to be really careful. He's juking around like crazy. You can see the magic missiles, the delay on them makes it difficult to hit. Medivh is looking for a kill on me. We kill him though instantly as he comes through the portal. He was just actually really impressed by the Medivh play in this game. I thought the dude did a really good job. Like, instead of just panicking and dying right there, he was throwing down these portals, he was juking around. He was living for a really long time, and he came very, very close to killing me. So, I mean, that was just shout out to him because he played it well. And you can see at this stage, Abathur's just running. Abathur clearly has used his burrow because he's just running away here. So I was pinging help on him. We don't want to let him die as Arthas chases him down. But now that Arthas has put himself out of position, and hopefully we can collapse on him and actually pick him off. Anyway, we picked up this tribute for ourselves, denying the enemy team getting a curse. I meant to blink over the wall and fire stuff. Instead I fire stuff and blink into the wall, so that's not ideal. We do get some decent damage down. As Arthas goes out of range, just cancel the disintegrate and run forwards right here. Brightwing taking a ton of damage right there. This is pretty huge for us, and Brightwing goes down, able to pick her off. That's a huge deal. Trying to save the Arthas and putting herself in severe harm's way. At this point, we're going to be able to get a lot of damage done. Now, it's still not safe. There's still a lot of threat from the enemy team, but that's a big, big deal for us. Sonya has popped her hardened shield, so she's pretty scary. At this stage, I'm going to try focus some fire on the Medivh. Teammates were looking for the Vala kill as well. I'm going to just teleport right out of there to the side, just in case the enemy team tried to blow me up. Coming out of that ley line seal, it's very much like a Void Present. You have to really watch out for the follow-up. Nice Crystal Aegis from the Oriole coming out, keeping her alive, then followed by the Shield of Hope. Big shields trying to keep people alive through this, and Sonya gets exploded. We finish her off with the disintegrate, then teleport on top as well. We interrupt the Arthas with the disintegrate. Unfortunately, we just missed the Medivh, so he actually does get to mount up, but we certainly delay their team a little bit. And once again, you know, that little bit of a delay, we didn't pick up the kill on Arthas, but slowing him down that 10 seconds or so is just going to ensure that, you know, we pick up this tribute pretty much effortlessly. At this stage, it's 2-all in terms of tributes, neck and neck. Both teams are missing their keep in the bottom lane. Now that lane is probably not going to be the win lane. You see big damage coming out in the Arthas. There we go, save our damage until the shield's about to wear off, and we do pick him off. Medivh goes out of position as well. We pick him off too. Now we're diving through the enemy team. We're getting a lot of damage down. Sonya's back up in 22 seconds. We've got a big push coming in here with those siege minions. I'm out of mana, but this is looking pretty good for us. Nice combo by the Kerrigan, actually. Looks like she might even peel this. Yes, she does. We pick off Brightwing as well. This should be game. We're on the enemy's core. It's all of us. There's only one of them. Going to be 2 now shortly, but is it enough? I don't think so. Abathur has even come up here as well. He wants to make the most out of his Locust, get them pushing in. Sonya looks to hook onto the Abathur. She didn't see the little Locust though between them. And Abathur does escape right at the very end. I think he made... Did he make a clone? I think he made a clone. Anyway, saying GG, well played. Very fun game. Like I said, really enjoyed this one. I felt both teams had a good comp. I felt both teams had good players. Yeah, it was just... I thought it was really interesting. Some really good team fights. Really going pretty long. Anyway, you can see, once again, nice teammates too. Ending with some really fun banter. Yeah, I thought our Abathur played really, really well. Really, really well. There you go. Pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those fun games where you I learned stuff about my own play as well. And instead of just going like, yeah, it was a good game, I was it was an extra good game because during the team fights, I had to kind of stop myself and say, okay, cool, actually need to focus more on aiming my abilities. It's going to be really important to land these and to pay attention as much as possible. It's not going to be enough to throw stuff out kind of willy-nilly and have it not get enough value. I really need to make sure I'm getting the most out of every single cast. So that was fun. It's fun, and it's very rare that you actually have like a game that's a learning experience. Well, for me, I should say, very rare that a game is a big learning experience. But I felt like in this one it was, that I was actually challenged, and that was really good. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. There are the talents, just so you guys can get like an idea of everything that's going on. As you can see with the Abathur stuff, he's gone like full split push, like completely full split push. So yeah, that obviously meant that we had the weaker team fight, like I said, but that even when we're losing the team fights, we can lose the team fights and still win. You can see the Sonya actually's got a really shit build, level 7 and 13, so that actually helped us out a little bit. It would have been harder if she had something good, but apart from that, she did play pretty well. But there you go, guys. I like that game a lot. I thought it was awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed. Give it a like if you liked the video and if you learned something. And yeah, I mean, I love bringing you these videos of games that are really good. And we've had, I think Season 2, I have to say, has been much, much better in terms of match quality. I don't know if it's just me or if it's a subjective thing, or obviously small sample size, right? But I feel that, for myself, I feel that the Season 2 has been much better. I felt like some of those last games, like our last placement game, was a really good game. I felt like this game was a really good game. I felt like the Uther game I put up a couple of days ago as well. Well, it wasn't, I don't think like the team comps and stuff were as quality, and the game maybe wasn't as quality. It was still a very fun game. So yeah, it's always good to get stuff like that, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Anyway, I'll be back next time with some more Heroes of the Storm. I haven't played the next game actually quite yet, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Maybe it will be the promo game. We're still not quite there yet, but I don't know, it depends. But yeah, certainly I'll be looking to bring you any games that are particularly interesting, or then games where I get to play different heroes, or where they're promo games or something special. I won't bring you every game, with games where something interesting happens, so do stay tuned for that, and I'll see you all then. Bye bye.